Geelong, the greatest team of all. We are Geelong, we're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played, at home or far away. Our banners fly high from dawn to dawn, down at Gardenia Park. Geelong, we're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played, at home or far away. Our banners fly high from dawn to dawn, down at Gardenia Park.
Yes, the stage is set, and what a stage it is, the Melbourne Cricket Ground. There's two teams of talented players and the most entertaining teams going around. We've got India and Australia.
I can tell you now, walking onto this ground is very special, and in a World Cup final, it's something you cherish.
We're expecting a huge crowd here at the MCG. It is going to be a brilliant way to celebrate International Women's Day. Plenty of icons here at the MCG.
Congratulations, Australia, the 2020 ICC T20 World Cup champions!
shout start and Mexican win, okay? I'll shout start, you shout Mexican win.
Okay, okay. And I say everyone star, I say Mexican win. Okay?
You say everyone start, I'll say Mexican win. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah? So, you know, I'm not sure what team is going to be doing the Mexican wave.
That way, okay. 3,
2, 1, hey! Right, and again, ready? 3, 2, 1, hey! It's getting better, Yay! It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back to us. Here it comes. Here it comes.
coming back.
Here it comes. Here it comes. We started this race.
Cause I know that you need you to distill me. They say I feel that to be
Come on.
Your son's job in Ukraine. How is that not a conflict of interest?
It's not a conflict of interest. There's been no indication of any conflict.
Your son's job in Ukraine. How is that not a conflict of interest?
It's not a conflict of interest. There's been no indication of any conflict of interest from Ukraine or anywhere else. Period. I'm not gonna respond to that. Let's focus on the problem. Focus on this man, what he's doing that no president has ever done. You're a damn liar, man. You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
Do you think it was wrong for him to take that position?
No.
Knowing that it was really because that company wanted access to you.
Well, that's not true. You're saying things you do not know what you're talking about. No one said that. Who said that?
Don't you think that?
Here's how you can spot a zombie. Look for someone who has a corpse-like appearance, exhibits aggressive behavior, craves human flesh, and utters incoherent moans and groans. With your help, we can prevent the zombie uprising. Here's how you can spot a zombie. Look for someone who has a corpse-like appearance, exhibits aggressive behavior, craves human flesh, and utters incoherent appearance. Incoherent. Here's how prevent uprising. Here's how you can spot a zombie. Look.
Make an entrance. Make a run.
Besides that, how can he make a deal with China when he's taking a lot of money out of China, right? For himself and his family.
And I didn't go, and I'm still. He went to make sure that. And I'm still vice president. Everybody is known from day one how smart, how bright Hillary is. Everybody knows how tough she is. You know, the rapidly rising with. I really hope some of you be. trillion and a half bucks to 2.5 to 3 trillion. I mean, it should be 3 billion. Billions of gallons of gasoline. I mean, billions of $1.6 trillion, $1.4 trillion. I think it's $2.3 billion worth of, $500 billion. Come on, man. Keep in mind, although they're going to vote on Barrett, I think today. That it's really important that
I really don't want to be talking about an opponent in a negative way. Hard to believe, it's me talking, but that's true. But Joe Biden and the whole family, there's such corruption. It's so obvious. He would go to a place, whether it's China or Ukraine or any place, Russia, you take a look at what he's done. And his son was like a human vacuum cleaner. They'd take out millions and millions and millions of dollars. And in some cases, it was like immediate. And in some cases, Joe was vice president, in many cases, when this was all happening. The son had nothing, didn't do well, wasn't successful. And for that, I feel very badly. And I don't even want to mention it, actually. But as soon as Joe became vice president, all of a sudden, this money started flowing into the family, and it's no good. And whether something happens as to it or not, I don't know. That's not up to me. But you know what? The voter has to know. The voter has to know that a man who was vice president was funneling tens of millions.
When we spoke with Joe,
and now they. Hey everybody, this is a very exciting day, an exciting moment. I'm about to vote, and I thought I would share with you how I'm voting because I've been voting by mail for years. And you'll see that it is it's not as tough as a lot of folks think. All right, we have, first of all, the I voted sticker, right? So this is the ballot, a set of instructions. Each state has a different set of forms and requirements, so it's really important for you to read the directions carefully. Those instructions make your voice count.
Today I am proud to endorse Joe Biden for President of the United States because he will be an extraordinary president. He knows how to get the job done. When our nation faced the Great Recession, it was Joe Biden who led the implementation and the accountability of the Recovery Act, helping create and save millions of jobs. When the Democratic Congress was passing the Affordable Care Act, Joe Biden was a partner for progress in the White House.
To do is vote for Joe. It is time to turn back the division and the hate and the exclusion and the bitterness. And it is time to work together. Vote for decency, vote for dignity, vote for a heart for our country. That is what he will bring to the White House.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Langford comes out with the ball, drives it down, Buckenauer trip, Buckenauer's free kick, siren sounds, there's the siren, and he's got a kick from 55 metres out. I don't think that, it's 15 metres, 15. What pressure on Gary Buckenauer, he is a champion, he is a great kick. If he kicks this goal, Hawthorn are in the grand final. The umpires haven't heard it yet, I don't think. If he kicks this goal, Hawthorn are in the 1987 grand final. If he misses, Melbourne are in. There's the kick. It's a goal. It's a goal. Hawthorn have won with a kick after the siren. Dawson up north, Melbourne up towards centre, half forward. There's no markings. That's Melbourne right once again. Not over yet. What drama here at Princes Park. Malcolm Blight, it's a big kick, it's a mammoth kick!
$38,057 people hold their breath at Subiaco Oval. Millions of people around the country. A handstand next to him to put him off. In comes Longmuir to take his kick. Ice cool. Ice cool. Fremantle have...
Duncan.
Oh, the big mummify.
By golly, Durham.
Oh,
You won't vote. You're not going to vote.
Young voters often being considered politically uninterested.
Young voters here could make a big difference.
You're not going to vote. Okay? You hear me? Why do I know that? Because I'm just using basic statistics here. YouTube tells me that 71% of my audience, all of you watching, are between the ages of 18 and 34 years old. Okay? That's me too. I'm 32 years old. So, whatever. I'm in this demographic. We can also be represented on a graph that shows how many of us show up to the polls every election. Back in the 80s, that number was around 50%, half. And then by the 90s, it dipped down really low to like 40%. And then it went up a little, and then in 2016, the last general election, it was 46%. Meanwhile, the older folks are way up here in like the 60s and 70s. People over 65 have almost 50% more representation in our democracy because simply they show up to polls and they vote. Whereas a lot of us stay home. But here's what blows my mind about this as I think about it this year. I was this guy. Like, I was this guy. I was the person who didn't vote, who didn't really think about this as some super important thing. Let's just like rewind at me being this guy in 2012. Of course, I was on YouTube watching all the celebrities telling me that it's my civic duty to go out and vote.
Only one wrong vote, and that is no vote.
And they would use this weird phrase like get out and vote. It was like get out and vote.
So on November 4th, get out and vote.
I was like, why are we saying get out all the time? It's so weird. Like, what a weird phrase. We don't use that for anything else. I would hear these celebrities and I would kind of roll my eyes. Like, yeah, I get it. We're in a democracy. This is important, but it's not that important. And you know what added to all of this for me in 2012 is that these ads, these celebrities, they made it sound so easy. Just like, take a couple minutes and go vote. Like, it's actually not that easy. Voting in America requires a bit of research and a bit of effort. Not a ton, but more than what a lot of people make it sound like. And this is all made muddier by the fact that every state has specific rules. I was moving around a lot at this time. I was in Oregon, and then I was in Utah, and then I was in Virginia. And every one of these states has slightly different rules on how to register, when to register, how to actually vote, which is why there's a YouTube channel literally dedicated to how to vote in every state. It requires a tutorial. So yeah, voting requires a little bit of research and effort, and we should be upfront about that. Look at this ranking of 20 democracies ranked by how much young people show up to vote. Of course, up here we have the Scandinavian countries who have a huge majority of people under 30 who vote. Cool, we get it, Scandinavia. You've figured out how to run countries and societies in a very democratic and functional way. Okay, why don't you keep bragging about it? Scroll down a little bit, a lot, and you get to the United States, way down here. Whoa, what's going on here? Hold on. What is going on? Switzerland is even lower, 33% Switzerland. My Switzerland? Wait, but I thought Switzerland was like the perfect country. There's got to be a good reason for this. I mean, Switzerland does have political parties that share power, and so elections aren't really that important, and they have all these referenda and so.
Oh my gosh, just admit that it's not perfect.
I'm just not willing to do that. You can go back to your computer. I need to take a break and tell you about today's sponsor for a minute to sort of I have a security system necessary. You can put up police if there's any breach of the security system. These products have won awards, and go check it out. Thank you, Simply Safe. Okay, let's get back to voting. Still not very happy about the Switzerland flex over there from my wife.
Just admit that it's not perfect.
Okay, so back to voting. Less than half of people under 30 don't vote. And what does this actually mean for our society? Well, it means that older people have way more representation to elect other older people who have different perspectives and priorities than younger people do. Tax cuts for rich people, who tend to be older people, check. They usually don't want things to change very much because they've sort of been doing it the same way for so many years, check. The changing climate, yeah, they certainly care about climate change, but like they're not going to be on the earth for that much longer. So it's like they don't actually care. They don't have skin in the game with the climate change thing. This is why one election expert said that if younger people showed up to the polls in the same proportions as older people, it would fundamentally transform American politics. But wait, let's go back to 2012 Johnny and go through another thing that was in his head. Because one of the big things is I was living in Utah at the time, which is a deeply red state that was definitely going to go for Mitt Romney, and I was an Obama person. And so I was thinking, my vote doesn't count, which is actually a very tempting line of thinking and probably a major reason why a lot of people don't vote. But now that I have studied a lot of different governments and how things work in the world, I realized that that line of thinking is totally wrong. First off, there are loads of people on that ballot that are not running for president, that are running for state and local and county positions that incidentally have way more effect on your day-to-day life than the presidential election. Sorry to break it to you, but like presidential election gets all the limelight and attention, actually probably affects your life a lot less. Anyway, plus that whole idea of my vote doesn't count is not how democracy works. Oftentimes democracy feels like a winner-takes-all situation where whoever wins, wins and they do whatever they want because they won. That's not totally the case. Even if you vote for a losing candidate, democracy is a game of pressuring and signaling leaders. Let me explain what I mean. Leaders, of course, take note of protests and petitions and other forms of activism. But the thing they really care about, the thing that really pressures them, is the vote. Because that is the only thing that can actually lose them their jobs. Even if your candidate loses, let's say you are a red person voting in a blue state, or a blue person voting in a red state, or whatever, the winner of that election will still note the results of their opponent. If there's a huge turnout for your candidate, even though they lost, the winner of that election will notice, and they will take note, and they will factor that into their behavior, into their decision making. That is a fact. That is how democracy works. Because they need to keep an eye on it. Because they realize that if there was a big turnout for their opponent this time, they need to keep an eye on that for the next election. On the other hand, if you don't vote and you stay home, that candidate who won has zero pressure. They feel zero pressure to behave any differently because they won so comfortably. Voting isn't just about voting for the winner. It's about signaling to everyone what the actual political diversity is in your city or your county or your state or your country. Your vote actually does matter even when it feels like it doesn't. And this took me a while to like actually accept, but now I see it very clearly, not only in our democracy, but in democracies around the world. Okay, I know I sound like I'm sort of getting all lectury here. There are a lot of really good, rational reasons why young people don't vote. Often we have less flexible jobs, so it isn't easy for us to take time out to go vote. It could cost us a lot of money to do that. Often we haven't made a habit out of it. People that are over 65 have been doing this for a while. They've had time to develop the habit and get used to the experience of voting. And honestly, that positive association of going to the polls, voting, feeling good about it, and then the next time you're like, oh, I want to do that again. Young people haven't had the experience of doing that yet. And listen, I don't think this video is gonna suddenly change this line and have it just start to go up and suddenly we have a 70% turnout for young people, though that would literally like change our entire country. But I do think something is changing. I think us young people are realizing that a lot of real serious
Close to ideal because a perfect country doesn't exist, but it's right up there. Whether it's true or not, we'll find out today. Talk to Throughout the entire 9 days of my trip,
While I was recently in the US, a whole bunch of people asked me, what do they speak in Switzerland? And are you gonna learn it? Well,
you won't vote.
Nothing riles up the audience more than talking about an amazing graphics card that you just can't buy. That, of course, being the RTX 3080. But today, we're not going to talk about the RTX 3080. No. We're going to talk about one of the most anticipated cards of the year, the NVIDIA VHS tape, or the Super S. It's a 3070. The new P360A joins the Phanteks family of ultra-fine performance mesh gaming PC chassis featuring optimal aesthetics and airflow at an affordable price. The P360A is the perfect size for both water cooling and air cooling, with support of up to EATX motherboards and multiple 240 or 280 radiators, while dedicated cable management compartment with Velcro straps take the guesswork out of cable routing. To see the complete list of specs and available colors of the all-new P360A from Phanteks, visit the link in the description below. So let's start with a physical tour of the card, which is actually the most exciting part to me because there were some things that I didn't expect on the 3070 until I got my hands on it and got to unbox it. First of all, it's not the exact same color of a 3080, and I don't know how well this is going to pick up on camera. The 3080 has a bit of a bronzy look to it, but if you compare the color of a 3070 right next to it, it's more gunmetal. So if I go like this, it's definitely got more of a blue in it, where there's definitely a little bit more of like a brown in the 3080. I like this color, I really do. I kind of wish all three of them were the same. I don't know if this is a variance maybe in manufacturing, but this is the color ours ended up being. The backplate, as you can see, has got the nice, it is a plastic backplate, by the way. It's not metal. And it's got the grooved lines in there, which look really
Small ball. Get a squid. Get a spoon. ऑरेंज बॉल लाओ, ऑरेंज बॉल में रात में खाना है। ऑरेंज बॉल ला दो। Very important. Okay? Okay? So that exercise, and then today you have stream right, tomorrow no streaming. Day after tomorrow you can stream. Okay? Stream alternate days, I don't mind. But not every day. Anything that is new for tomorrow assignments? Please check. Okay? See the board? See the board?
Yeah. वो निपट यहाँ रखा गया कहाँ है?
No, I think I put it back there.
Sure.
Yeah. Check on the table.
ये ऑफ कर दो नहीं हाँ.
Yeah, just click the switch off.